Clement, is it a good time to sell PayPal right now? Okay, so on my screen here we have PayPal. I think very clearly, I think the longer term trend so far it is still pointing up, but the 100 days moving average is starting to flatten out already. Sorry, yeah, and the 20 days moving average has started to point down and looks to be crossing the 100 days moving average very very soon. So I think I think previously if you have bought this counter since I think mid late of last year, I think you have been sitting on pretty good gains. If say of about at its peak, you have been sitting about 52% gains. But right now, I think maybe some of your gains have been erased, especially they have just announced earning guidance is very, very good right now. So prices have broke below what we call previously a support, now turned into a resistance, right? Resistance. And then this currently prices are inching very, very, very close to a temporary support right around the 74 to 75 level, very, very close to the 200 days moving average already. I think sellers previously come back close to the 92 level, came back twice before finally, upon earnings announcement, prices broke below this $82 currently resistance. So if you are actually looking to sell, I mean, of course, I would have rather you have sold closer to the 82 level, just when we had that one GT bearish signal, because that support had been broken already and you want to actually lock in some profits as well. So right now we are close to the $76 level, $76, $77 level as of yesterday's close. What we want to do is if you have the opportunity, maybe you want to set a stop loss level just below the 76 level. So if we were to draw or we were to turn on this trailing resistance line at this point, trailing resistance line, you will obviously see that prices are very far below the resistance level. So I mean, the trading resistance. So that's not really a good sign for you to continue holding, especially if you're sitting on some gains. So perhaps maybe it's time to consider to lock in some profits, and then if we then see, let me just turn this off first. We then see the 20 days moving average, start to flatten out again, and then start to point up. Maybe that's when you can get in, or for another trade again. But I think right now it's the best thing you can do is to actually lock up some profits, put some money in the pocket first, and then continue to monitor this counter.
So the next one that I will be covering will be from Eugene. So Eugene is asking, for Google, is it a good time to buy? Okay, so let's take a look at Google, right? I mean, Google, if we take a look at the longer term trend of Google, right? I mean, red and the blue line looking great, decent, go up. I mean, sometimes in September to December, it kind of like flattened out a bit, but it rebounded. The red line actually bounced off the blue line, which is the 200 days moving average, and now it's actually pointing up, right? I mean, for the short-term trend, of course, during the year, that's up and down, there's short-term weakness, even the longer term, when the longer term trend is up. So what is happening recently, right now, somewhere in December, we actually see, price actually broke above this 180. I would draw this level at 180. So this 180 is like a resistance level back then, right? In November and December, that we saw selling pressure actually came back, and price actually broke above it and managed to hold above it, right? So this 180 turned from a resistance to become a support, right? And subsequently, I mean, prices continue all the way up to about 200, which is one of the psychological resistance that we are looking at right now as well, because we saw, multiple long upper shadows that we see over here, right at the candles over here, right? And when this actually happens at a resistance level, it actually just means that all the sellers there are very strong. They are all queuing there to actually sell. And that's why we actually see prices coming back down, right? And right now, price yesterday it closed at 186.14, right? And remember this 180 support level that we have drawn earlier. So to answer your question, Eugene, do you think it's a good time to buy? I would say right now, right, prices is currently still holding above this 180 support level over here. And I would say that this could be a potential entry, potential zone for entry as well, because as long as it's holding above this 180, both the longer term 100 and 200 days moving average are still looking good. That will be great. But what I want to see, right, is this 220 days moving average. Now it's still pointing down, right? What I want to see is kind of like flattening out a bit first, right? So that I can have more confirmation that price can actually indeed hold above this 180 before actually confirming my entry. So as you can see here, right, you know, the blue color, this black arrow here, I already set my price alert right over here. And if you're asking, okay, so then what about the targets, right? For those who have already entered, right? If you are looking to sell, we have already drawn the targets right here about 220. And the reason we have drawn this is because it's same thing, like a projection up from this $200 psychological resistance, which I have also set an alert right over here. So now the thing is, if you want an additional confirmation, what you can also do is to set an alert for the 1GT buy alert. Because right now, the most recent one is a 1GT bearish signal, right? So I want to be alerted if let's say there is another 1GT bullish signal coming up. So I will set a buy alert right over here, 1 minute per bar, and I'll just put Google. And that's it. So the trading view will actually alert me when there is another 1GT bullish signal coming out, which gives me more confirmation on this stock as well.
All right, thank you so much. All right, very good there. Z actually mentioned a little bit on how, based on all the stocks that we are covering, right, guys? Of course, we can just turn on the bullish and bearish signals from my 1GT Pro indicator in seconds, right? But when we turn it on, we see the signals. But what if we don't want to just turn it on and see? We want to be alerted when there is a signal. All right, can that happen? Well, the answer is yes. All right, so we can set an alert for any stocks, any asset classes, and we can be alerted if there's any bullish or bearish signal, right? And that's exactly what we do as well. So we don't have to every day open the chart and see whether the signal comes out, all right? We will do that. We don't do that, right? We just pretty much set an alert, wait for it. It comes, doesn't come, then doesn't come. All right, so let's see, guys, you want to find out a bit more, right? Find out a bit more in terms of the entire strategy, how perhaps you could have an indicator like this to help you as well. Attend all those free webinars. Hui Min, I think Hui Min, is it a good time to buy CELH, right? CELH. Okay, so this is CELH right over here. All right, Celsius Holdings, right? Celsius Holdings. So let me just quickly write it down. All right, Celsius Holdings. Okay, so I think this is Celsius Holding. Is it a good time to buy? Very good, Hui Ming. Thank you so much. Rather than just typing CELH, I have no idea what you want to do, but now you're thinking to buy, right? Thinking to buy. So I think, is it a good time to buy, right? Good question. Let me go to answer that question. So I think for CELH, before I answer that question, right, you can see that quite quickly, we had some bullish signals right over here in like 2024, February, 1 year back. There we go, all the way up. Bearish signals sold off, bullish signal went back up. But I think this whole sell down really started from these two bearish signal in June last year, just about 6 months, 7 months back. All right, look at this. I mean, two bearish signals. The green 20 days moving average line that was moving up started to slope down and down. And I mean, the green line, is it still sloping down? Yes, it's still kind of like sloping down. So if you are telling me that you want to think about buying, I would say don't buy, right? I mean, these are stocks that we don't want to buy. Why? Because first of all, the trend has turned down in the short term. I mean, since like June last year. All right. And if you look at this right over here, right, the 100 days moving average, and when we covered a few stocks, I think just now I covered like AT&T. Well, the longer term trend was up, right? So yeah, in the short term, maybe a bit of weakness, doesn't matter, go down and go up a bit more, right? But for this, you can see that the short term trend has turned down, right? It reacted first, I mean short term, so a bit faster lah. A few months later, in August, September, the longer term trend, which was okay if you ask me in 2023, right, also started to turn down. Right over here, the red went below the blue, and of course, both the red and blue, I mean, it looks different from the stocks I covered previously lah. All right, previously is the red and blue go up, then red above the blue, right? Now it's a bit different. The red below the blue and both going down, right? So the longer term trend has turned down. The short term trend has turned down based on the green line. And if you look at all these bearish signals that are popping out, look at this, right? A bearish signal right here again. It went down even more. Yeah, we did a bullish signal, maybe a bit of a buying pressure coming back, but bearish signals coming out, bearish signal coming out, a bullish signal, maybe just a bit of bargain hunting coming out, right? Rebound a little bit towards the resistance, and there we go. Look at this, right? I mean, the past like maybe past 1 month, right? 23rd Jan. Today is the 14th of Feb. So about 3 weeks back, we got a bearish signal, green line continue to point down, and we have gone from like 26 to 22. All right. So as I say, is it a good time to buy? No, right? No, we wouldn't want to buy stock like this, all right? Because there are all signs pointing to it more downside. We got bearish signal, long-term trend is down, short-term trend is down. We just don't like stocks which is cheap. All right, essentially we don't like stocks which is cheap because I know it can be cheap, right? You might say that it's $22. It used to be like what? It used to be $80, no, then 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, now only 20, right? yeah, very good. And I don't know, when next week will become, 15 or 20 or 10 or something, right? I mean, so we don't like cheap stuff, right? So we only want to think about buying when there are clear signs of a reversal or a stock that is already strong. Does it make sense? So if you ask me, probably not, right? Because I mean, all signs are just pointing down, and we looked at, I think, if we even break the $20, we could even see more selling. Maybe we might have another bearish signal coming out. All right, so that would be CELH. Hui, I hope you have a better idea. Probably not want to buy. All right.